What is a intensive? When it comes to mental health, individual therapy, couples counseling, marriage counseling, what is a intensive? To understand what an intensive is, let's start with a traditional therapy session or a traditional couples marriage counseling session. Traditionally, many counselors are trained to provide 45 minutes, 50-minute, sometimes 60-minute sessions, usually 45 to 50 minutes, because that 10 to 15 minutes on the back end is supposed to be dedicated to documentation. So traditionally, when you enroll in mental health services or couples counseling, there's a 1 hour commitment. And within that hour, that includes the 10 to 15 minutes of documentation. The problem with the traditional model of therapy in couples counseling or marriage counseling is relationships are fluid. Oftentimes, some people are just getting started toward the end of the session, especially in couples counseling. And unfortunately, when the provider is operating within the parameters of a tech company or insurance company, these companies oftentimes have restrictions on how much time providers can actually spend in session with clients, which puts the provider in a dilemma, an ethical dilemma of when you see a person or a couple that's in significant distress and they're hurting and quote unquote time is supposed to be up, what do? Do you rush them out of the session so that you can see your next person or couple at the top of the hour? Do you extend the session and forego getting paid for that additional time that you spend? You can see how it creates a dilemma for both, not only the provider, but from a care perspective. When you're being seen by someone, you want that person to have your undivided attention, your focus, and your best energy. Now that we have that understanding, an intensive is another way of saying we're going to extend the time spent in this session. We're going to go beyond the traditional 45 to 50-minute session, and we're going to take the time that it takes to have this conversation, address your concerns, explore what led to the problems that you're currently facing, talk about solutions and possible outcomes, and make recommendations for next steps. For me in my practice, my intensives are sometimes 90 minutes, 120 minutes, even a half a day. This morning I had one at the top of the hour, and so I'm thinking about it, and this is my first appointment for today at 9 o'clock a.m. I was very intentional about not scheduling anything else this morning because I'm going to meet somebody for the first time who's reaching out in a very vulnerable time in his life. And I want him to have my complete undivided attention. And I want to give him the time that it takes and the energy that's required and the emotional labor that's needed to really serve him at the highest level of excellence. So I might be here with him until noon, or it might be closer to 11. I don't know. But the beauty of what I love about intensives is that it allows me to just really be present with that person or couple I'm called to serve during this period of time. And you know how life is. It's so busy. It's full of distractions. You have so much going on. A lot of times when people come into a controlled environment, and you see there I have my desk and things in the back. But my point is this. Sometimes people just want to be in a container, a safe, non-threatening, private, confidential, controlled environment to really think clearly about their life, have a trusted guide to guide them through that process, and to have some actionable steps. Like when you enroll in professional services, at least with me, this isn't just about, oh, that must feel bad, or I know you're sad, or you're going through a really hard time. Do I validate? Of course. I'm emotionally engaged. I listen, I validate, but we want results. So whatever happens, I don't know what's going to happen in this conversation, but I do know that this person I'm going to meet with this morning, when he leaves here, he is a man of faith, and prayer is one of my most effective interventions. I'm going to pray with him. And because he's a believer, we may dive into or integrate the Word of God into this conversation. Not to turn into a Bible study, but so that he has that spiritual foundation as he prays and he seeks godly counsel in this vulnerable time of life. But when he leaves here, he's going to have a lot of clarity about next steps and an action plan. And it's going to be up to him to decide what he wants to do. So I just wanted to share that with you because not everybody understands the business side of mental health and how it works. And when you're looking for a provider, sometimes you might want to seek out someone who actually provides intensive care, meaning that they're able to go beyond the traditional therapy session and provide you with they have more capacity to serve you with their time, attention, energy, and focus. It's about 9 o'clock, and I got to check to see if my guy's here. God bless you, and be encouraged.